Video we looked at how to parent objects and how the parent object affects the child object. In this video we're going to look at armatures and see how it works. Before we start rigging anything, we need to understand armatures and how it works and the parenting process. So I delete that cube. I'm going to come here and my object mode, then I say add armature. And there you go, I've got one single bone. As you can see here, I created the armature, and inside armature you see the bone. Okay, so how do you create bones? You can shift D, and that's one way, the normal way you do, and I can come here. Let me delete this. I created a different bone as a different object, but I can also come here inside edit mode just like any other. So now I can shift D and it's part of the same object, and I created that bone. It's not a child because you can see here bone, bone one are at the same level, so the bone one is not a child of bone. I can do this by selecting this, selecting the child, selecting the parent the same way I did before, Control P, and I can say keep offset would stay where it is, and created a line there. So if I want to test it, I can go to something called pose mode here. And now if I rotate, for example, that will rotate as well because it's a child. Okay, and this one will rotate independently, right? So the other way, let me go back to edit mode. I'm going to delete this bone. I could also shift D and I could select this and parent and Control P, and if I say make parent connected, it will jump there at the top. So if I come to pose mode, and that will move, it's a child, and this one can move independently, right? Okay, the other way you can do is coming here the same way, go back to edit mode, come here and extrude. So press E to extrude, and you go and extrude. So one thing that I wanted to keep an eye on is to make sure that when you're doing bones, when you're creating bones, to work on your use orthographic view. Use the front view, the side view, depending on what you're doing. Because if you work on a perspective, you don't really know where you're placing, and then you create a mess like this, right? So I'm going to undo this. I'm going to go to my front view. Let me just undo this one as well. Okay. Oh, I end up deleting the whole lot. Let me just delete the whole thing. Okay, I'll create a new one. Object mode, add armature. So now I'm going to my front view. I press 1 to go to my orthographic view, and there you go. I'm going to edit mode and E. That's going to create something here. So, okay, let's say I create this arm, right? So now you can see it's all aligned. It's very important, the alignment of bones. We might look at this in other lessons as well when you have problems with rotations and stuff. But for now, all we want is to make sure aligned, so make sure you use the orthographic view. So how do I use this? Now, they all, as you can see here, they're all child of each other. So bone, bone 0, and so on. And so if for you to test it, you come here to pose mode, see if it's working. So rotate that one. Yeah, everything rotates. And this one will rotate on its own and take the other children away and affect the other children. So, okay, so that's working. Now, how do I use this? I need to attach some objects to this. So now for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to make it very simple. I'm going to just create very simple objects here and attach. So I can demonstrate that. So I come here to my objects and I create a cube, scale this cube down. I'm going to do like this. I'm not being perfect in any way, I'm just putting cubes. So I demonstrate how it works. I'm going to put a cube here, Shift D. I'm going to put a cube there. G for move, Shift D, duplicate, R to rotate, G to move. And in my last one here, I probably put a different one. Let's just put a cone, shall we? So it looks like a lamp. There you go. It's very, very rustic, rudimentary, let's say. G and rotation, R for rotation, and I put it there. Okay. Now, pretty much that's it. That's all I'm doing. There is no connections, but they will be triad of each other. So how does that work now? In order for me to attach this object, I have to attach these objects to each bone, right? So this is not the same as attaching a character that you want to deform. We're going to see that later. So I want to attach this cube to this bone. So I select the cube, I'm in object mode, and then I shift select the armature, but I have to go into pose mode. And then I select that bone because I want, yeah. So now I come here and Control P, and then instead of set parent to object like we did with the other cubes in the last lesson, we're going to do it with the bone. So we are attaching that cube to that specific bone. That's it, right? So how do I test this? There you go. So it's connected now. It's parented to that bone. So I go back here, select the second one, select the armature, go to pose mode, select that bone now, and then Control P and bone. And we're going to do the same thing. Keep testing, yeah? So the way to test, you have to test in pose mode, and there you go. It's working. Now I'm going to go back to object mode, select that. You have to be moving forwards and backwards, which is a bit annoying, but that's how it works. Unless there's any other way. If you know, let me know. So I go to pose mode, select that bone, and Shift P, connect. And then the last one, go back to object mode, pose mode, Shift, Control P, and bone, right? And, sorry, bone. Okay, so let's test this. So, yeah, it's working here. Yeah. So all connected. So let's do a quick animation here so you can see how it works. I'm gonna come here and I'm selecting 8. So it's A, I select my all the bones, right? So, and I press I to insert a keyframe. So in that keyframe, I'm gonna put a location and rotation keyframe. Yeah. Let's say my frame 1, so I come here in my frame 20, and then I can move. I don't know, you can do whatever you want. I can let's say something like this, and I press I again, location and rotation keyframe. As you can see here, those little things, the rotation keyframe. I didn't select all. That's why I didn't get all my keyframes from the other one. So it only recorded the last one I did. So it's important that so I go back to the frame 20 and I just move those guys and press A again to key all of them. And then I press I and I say location rotation. So now, oh yeah, so there you go. So I come to frame 40 and I go like that, like this. I don't know what I'm doing, but here you go. Oh, yeah, you can move like that. I'm just moving like this for now. I'll just do that. Okay. So now I select A to select all of them, I to insert a keyframe, location, rotation, and you go. And then you have this animated. Yeah. Okay, so that's all for this lesson. Have a go at this. Yeah. You can go back to object mode here and you can see. You play the animation. Okay. I only have 40 frames, so I can come here and put 40, so it would just go around. So then you can have a look. Yeah. Right. Okay, guys, so that's all for this video, and I see you in the next video. I'll show you a little bit more other things about bones.